Welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Bern Cassidy, Partner Marketing Manager at Hitachi Vantara. We're really excited to have you here for our Partner Marketing webinar, where we'll be diving into the critical topic of cyber resilience and how you, our valued partners, can leverage Hitachi Vantara solutions to drive growth and deliver real value to your customers. In today's session, we'll cover a few topics. We're going to look at the evolving cybersecurity landscape and why resilience is no longer optional. Hitachi Vantara's partner ecosystem, which delivers integrated cyber resilience solutions that ensure your customers' business continuity, and actionable marketing campaigns to amplify your reach, from email campaigns to social media activation. You'll hear from our experts, including Global Solutions Lead for Cyber Resilience, Chris Millington, and from our Strategic Alliances team, Terry Lewis, who share insights, examples, and practical tools to help you succeed. Now, let's get started with our first topic. Chris, could I ask you to elaborate on this statement for us, please?
Absolutely, Bern. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for giving up your time today. So, we've got a topic here we want to talk about, and we've labeled this "The Future is Breachable." And what it's really we're going to go into detail about is that cyber resilience is a major threat to us. You know, we can see examples of this right across the globe and right across every industry. The truth of the matter here is it's really got to be built. And it's got to be built in a way that you are resilient. You can't just buy it off a shelf. And when we start looking at the details behind why you can't buy it off the shelf, it's very easy to see. We know that this attack is going to happen. So yes, of course, we can have preventative tools in there. But we really need to advise our customers about how to deploy the when situation. Well, let me give you an example. When we're talking on this slide here and we look at disruption, the disruption category here on the left-hand side, Collins Aerospace, they had an attack on their systems that's based around the booking in functionality of when you're traveling. And these are a third-party supplier to the airlines. And what we know is that they were able to take down these machines for a period of time that not only were people missing flights, they were also disrupted based against what they were taking the flights for, whether it was a holiday or whether it was the business. And ironically enough, my colleague here, Terry, was actually involved at the same time as this disruption, and it actually affected you, right, Terry?
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right, Chris. You know, I got to live this disruption. It's amazing, right? It was a small third-party hack, but the chaos it caused, right? Not just the systems, but everyone's lives and connections. I missed my connections. They may have down the whole supply chain line, customer experience. It's massive, right? So, and you're so right. This is, to me, we live in a world now where these cyber threats are clear and present danger, and we need to figure out how do we help our customers create a business continuance plan really now, which is very different from our old VR plans to deal with the cyber threats, Chris. And that's why I think hopefully our partners can hear why Hitachi has invested in this ecosystem of technology alliance partners, because there is no silver bullet, there is no one answer. We have to create these moat of solutions at various levels to bring that resiliency and recovery capabilities to our customers. So back to you, Chris.
You make a great point, Terry. And as we move along, and in the case of Jaguar Land Rover, there was actually source code leaks that were stolen. So that ability of intellectual property was taken from them. But what's interesting with the Jaguar Land Rover situation isn't just the fact that they've been breached. It was the knock-on effect that it had to their suppliers and their employees. The suppliers had predictable shipping, predictable sales against what Jaguar Land Rover was buying quarter on quarter. And employees, of course, were told not to come to work because they couldn't actually operate. So that was affecting their personal finance.
Absolutely.
That's right. It's not just about having that fancy car that you couldn't drive, Terry. You know, that one you've got on your drive. It was very much about, the ongoing threat of source leak, but also, the actual individuals from a third party and employees' perspective. It's really crippled them. And I think also the government's had to step in here as well. And I don't know about you guys, but, when the government steps in, that tends to tell me that we're going to pay somewhere else for this as well as individuals, perhaps. So, when we're talking about production halting, Terry, this is a big one, right? This isn't just about cars not being made here. His livelihood's been halted at the same time, right?
Without a doubt, Chris, right? Their livelihoods, people feel it directly. But, also, I think what you're seeing, and I've seen this in other industries, so I'm pretty sure you experience this, companies now are also subject to all kinds of legal lawsuits. And some of these lawsuits and penalties are hefty. When you fail in your compliance and in your business continuance motions and strategy, you're liable now, right? So apart from all your employees and being hurt, there's customers, you're not being able to service it. You as a customer and company have a lot of liabilities to be concerned about as well.
It's a good point you make there, Terry, because that brings us on to the next area. You're talking about those compliance and regulations. A simple data breach, that one's the one that we've seen most in the past. But now, obviously, where we are from a compliance and regulation perspective, there has to be notifications right across all these incidents now. And of course, we have various different regulations where this affects people at an individual level. So the data breach that happened to Orange in Belgium, for instance, wasn't just about the 850,000 customers' records that they were able to get. It was the fact that they now had to comply and come out and state what was exactly taken and who it was taken by. And, that really does affect the ongoing business proposition for that company that says, am I going to actually stay with these next time my contract needs to be renewed based on what's happened?
Absolutely right, Chris. It's customer satisfaction and trust. But it's interesting you brought this up about this breach with Orange, because not too long ago, when they get breached, the auditors found like that telco and that said telco failed to delete records of hundreds of thousands of customers who had already left them a while back, and they kept those records there. That's part of the data governance and compliance process. They failed to do the cleanup. That exposed them when the government orders went through, and they got hefty fines for that and impending lawsuits for having all of the customers who had left them 5-6 years ago having their records exposed as well. So this kind of breach now, reputational damages, exposes the fact that customers don't have data strategies, data management strategies, or life cycle management of their data. All of these things come to bear, and it's sometimes very hard to recover reputationally wise from such a breach. Person, I'm sure there's also examples that you're going to talk about in the retail sector where we have the same kind of ramification.
I think it's really interesting. If we look along from left to right here, we know about the disruption side of it. We've talked about the halting of production, where that's affecting people's ability to earn. We've talked about personal information. And the retail impact one, this is the one that's probably the hardest hitting as a reality, even though it sounds like we're really pushing a far-fetched story here. The ability to actually eat, this is quite serious here. We know who was hit, but that ability to not be able to provide or indeed buy simple requirements just to survive. The truth is here, everybody, what we're talking about here is 4 incidents, 4 different types of incidents. But I must emphasize more than anything, this is the last quarter. These are not over a period of time. There are significant disruptions, production halting, data breaches, and retail impacts in the last 3 months. And Terry, one thing this should probably...
So ideal. Yeah,
from a partner perspective, we really need our partners to help us communicate this message of just how important it can be, right?
Well, Chris, you're so right. Our partners know our customers really well, right? They're with them on a databases, they see all the options, and they understand what's critical in the customer's environment better than us. So what we want to do is arm our partners with these set of solutions, the strategy that the hackers develop, proven technologies and strategies. They can take and enable our customers and their customers too to really build a cyber resilient infrastructure and business processes that they can confidently say, when this does happen, Chris, and you said, it's breachable, they can say, I can actually sleep at night knowing I have a plan that I can execute, and I know my different recovery points, and also what's critical, like what's that 20% or 30% of my environment, which is absolutely important, like my minimal viable company that's got to come up with minimal data loss. And so we look to our partners to help work with our customers to identify that and to actually create these various solutions and strategies, because as you probably going to mention, Chris, right?
Absolutely.
Not all data is created equal, right? And you need to understand that and figure out, how do we build a plan that makes sense, that utilizes the budget a customer has effectively. Chris, yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah, and I think it brings us to a great point, Terry, right? So look, everybody, we know that business is difficult, and we know that when we go to a customer and start talking about numbers, that sometimes they can either look really fictitious or they can be really scary. What we've got to understand here, everybody, is very straightforward. When we are looking at numbers of loss against a breach, and we're talking about them being business killers, what we're really talking about here is the loss of revenue. And that loss of revenue isn't just about the pounds and dollars. It's very much based around three particular areas. And I'll start on the left-hand side here. When we quote stats, we're talking about the average cost. And that average cost isn't based around whether the data's been lost. It's the time it takes to resolve the problem. And this is the important part where you as a partner come in there and can really identify with the customer and explain to them that breach costs are based around not just the technology that you haven't invested in, but the time it takes you to be operational for your customers again. And these numbers are very scary. I look at these numbers and see these and I'm thinking, surely it can't be that high, right? But we're talking about the ability to do transactions, the ability for people to earn, the ability for people to be able to sell whatever it is. And these numbers are true life. These are not our numbers. They're not Hitachi Vantara. These are numbers that are being offered to the industry as advice by the regulators, by the researchers, by the analysts, to tell us that we need to pay attention here. Because what we really know as we move here is 22 days. That's optimized recovery. And that optimization can only come from the partners that we work with. Terry, tell us what partners can really bring when we're talking about optimizing that recovery time.
Great question, Chris, right? And I think that's why our partners are important, right? As we talked about, not all data is created equal, and you have to have different levels of cyber resilience solutions. So for example, I'd use a combination of what we would do with a VSP block storage, right, for the enterprise and mid-range accounts, where we combine our index engine CyberSense to actually detect real time, right? And so if you're a customer who can't afford to lose more than 15 minutes of data needs to be detected, now I have to really not only detect it, but then using our solutions on Beyond 2020 Cyber VR, now automate the recovery, automate the eradication, and bring back my most critical systems in minutes, literally in minutes. And the cool thing about this, Chris, is that with this solution and the way we are implementing it in a very, very cost-effective, lightweight manner, using the concept of thin digital twins and our immutable snaps, makes this for something where a customer can regularly practice. And sure, I know for that 20%, 30% of my environment that I need to be up and running and confident I can do it. And then I have other layers of solutions, maybe for my tier 3, tier 4 data, with our key data protection partners like the Combos and Huge, where I can store my backups, and those backups are constantly being checked and validated. I know now, okay, those data, I can afford to lose maybe 12 hours, 24 hours of data, but I know the data is safe, it's sitting in a secure repository, it's hardened, I can recover that, right? But also I think, Chris, as what we also bring to the table with some of our partners is to also rethink how we do and protect and manage data. Do you, some of our customers, like you mentioned, at grocery chains, for example, or energy sector, data all over the place, at edge sites and all. Do I want to try to back up these edge sites, tiny sites, and bring the data up? Or do I treat that differently? So our solutions, for example, with our partner Cetera, well, Anyway Enterprise, where we create and protect data at the edge, but the data is all stored securely in an immutable object storage, and it's being checked and validated. And when I do get an infection, I can do an automated recovery from within my immutable file system to any point in time. I don't need to back it up and stream data across, very low bandwidth lines. I know I can even protect my edge environments. And now I have a combination of solutions. Just an example, from the edge to the core, and different kinds of SLOs and SLAs that I need from minutes to hours to days. I can help my customer as a partner create a architecture, create a framework to help them recover from any consumable attack. And more importantly, create an environment where they can test and practice this in a regular fashion, versus the traditional old days in a VR where I schedule a VR exercise maybe once a quarter was likely. I can run this daily, weekly, and ensure I can come back. So I think that's what is so important is you got in the last little donut there, 60% of SMBs close within 6 months, right? I mean, most of these SMB environments, shops, they don't have that level of depth and technical skills and shared knowledge. Where do I start? Where do I start to make myself cyber resilient? There's so many aspects. I've only got so many people in my IT staff. This is where our partners, armed with our tools and technologies, can make that difference to our customers' splits.
And you know what, Terry, that brings us to a really important starting point. For you as our partners, we want you to help us here, okay? And it's a very simple question that we're asking. We're not going technical, we're going real life, factual approach here. There's cybersecurity and there's cyber resilience, and they both have to work together. And one of them builds walls, the other one assumes that the wall's already been broken. We need to be able to have this conversation with customers that talks about risk assessment. And it's a very, very simple subject to approach. Ask yourself this as a partner now, and then ask that same question to your customers. If you were attacked tomorrow, would you still be standing? If a breach happened tomorrow, where would your needle lie? And most importantly, if you could take one step to move that needle, where would that step be? Partners, that's the opportunity that lies in front of us here. And you have the ability to be able to have these conversations. Hitachi behind you there will bring you value to your conversations. And I think that's an important point I wanted to get across here. We need to understand that business resilience is what we're focused on here. Security is an ongoing concern, we know that, but being prepared for when is the most important thing.
Chris, you're spot on. I love how you visualize this, because this is perfect, Chris, right? And this is where, as you showed, Chris, I think this is where our partners bring true value to the customer. They differentiate themselves from the competition. They become sticky. They become the trusted advisor, and they actually help the customer create a plan that says, I know I can be in business no matter what happens.
And it's interesting because when we work with you guys, we bring you value. You know that. I know that you know our storage and our infrastructure capabilities. We're expanding beyond the hardware environment. We're now becoming more focused on the data. And more importantly, we're becoming focused in a way that we can deliver outcomes that are beneficial. So this isn't about low cost. This isn't about trying to be competitive at the market layer of the book. What we're talking about here is using that book and bringing value. And that value is really, really important to us. So I want to show you an example of how we do that. And I think this probably brings us to the next slide, actually. So if we start looking at the next slide, it's very, very important that you understand here that Terry mentioned resilience. He talked about scanning and some of our partnerships that we have. But what we are actually doing is going above and beyond that. We've designed the technology integration into our solutions, now focusing on the data, but the outcome is really where we want you to focus with the customer. So we've introduced a cyber resilience guarantee. And this cyber resilience guarantee is absolutely vital in the conversation track that you can have with your customers. Terry, do you want to talk a little bit about the guarantee?
Oh, I love it, Chris. Well, here, thank you, Chris. So, right. So this cyber resiliency guarantee is something newly brought out to address the current threats our customers face, and you as suppliers could bring that. This builds on our availability guarantee and our storage assurance guarantee. So the cool thing about this is Hitachi stands by these technologies that we are bringing to you, our partners, to enable and help our customers protect themselves and recover. And in this guarantee, we're confident in our solutions that for some reason, if we fail to detect it or you're unable to recover, we actually provide you instant response services for 40 hours from our sister company, Hitachi Cyber, to remediate and resolve the issue. All right, Chris. As part of that too, we will make the customer whole in terms of the storage infrastructure for some reason if the recovery was not capable or happened. So we are standing by this because we truly believe in what we have built and put together to protect our end customers from this combination from our availability guarantees to our storage assurances guarantees, and now, as Chris mentioned, our cyber resiliency guarantee. We feel as a partner, you can bring this business outcome to our customers, guarantees that they can take to the bank and they can actually sleep all at night knowing that you are a partner standing behind them, along with the tools and solutions that Hitachi is supplying you.
Superb, Terry. Thank you for that. And I think it's really important, everybody here, that we understand before I bring Ben back into the conversation, this is a complete offering here. Everything's included in the guarantee that's required. And I think that's a good point for us to be able to move back over towards Bern here, because Bern wants to talk about some of the campaigns that we've aligned to this particular area, this cyber resilience unbreakable. So Bern, please, let me hand back to you. Thank you so much, Terry, as well, by the way.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Bern.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Terry. That was excellent. And that leads us nicely onto the Partner Marketing Hub and the campaign we built. Now, the campaign we built covers so many of the topics that Chris and Terry were discussing there. And what we want to do now is go through that. Before I go on that, I just want to show you a couple of links here. We've got the URL for the Partner Marketing Hub here, and we've got an email address here. Now, if any of you see this demonstration or what Chris and Terry have talked about, you want to learn more, you want a more one-on-one session, please email us at partnermarketingteam@hitachivantara.com, and we'd be more than happy to set some time up with you. I'm going to click on this link here now to take me through to the Partner Marketing Hub. And the idea behind the Partner Marketing Hub, it's really our one-stop shop to make sure that you've got all the access that you need to the latest, greatest campaigns. So let's go through to that now. Here we go. So this is the Partner Marketing Hub. And we spent an awful lot of time recently trying to make the platform as simple to use as possible, as interactive as possible, and user-friendly as possible. We've got along the top here our navigation screen, which takes us through our campaign, content library, all the information that you need to run a campaign successfully. Now, you can either go through the campaign tabs at the top, or you can scroll down the page and see what you're looking for. For example, here you can see our latest marketing campaigns. We've got campaigns on hybrid cloud, cyber resiliency, and AI. Quite simply, select the campaign that you want to run, and it will go straight away for you. All of the campaigns are run in the exact same way, the way the emails are built, the way the social media is built, all in the exact same way. Now, whatever campaign you're looking to run, because it's done in the same way, there's a few things you need to do first to make sure you get the most out of these campaigns. Now, the first thing I'd advise anyone to do is we have a section here called resources and an onboarding journey section here. Now, if I click on that, it takes me through to the onboarding section. Now, this is a really nice overview for you here on what happens in the Partner Marketing Hub. and what you need to do first to make yourself as successful as possible in running integrated marketing campaigns. We've got 4 simple steps we'd like all of our partners to take. Now, you don't have to take all of these steps, but some of them are more important than others. And the most important one is step number 1, where we've got the ability to set up your company profile. Now, if I click on this button here, within all of these sections here, there's a nice video to show you what you need to do. Again, as always, you can always reach out to me and my team to show you what you need to do on this here. But what this does is this sets up your company profile. This is what allows you to add your company logo, your company email address, your headquarter address. Once you enter that information once in the Partner Marketing Hub, it sets you up for success in all of the campaigns, the email campaigns, social media, content pages. All of your details are now added to those pages and all the marketing material that run in the campaigns. So this is a really simple way of getting the campaign set up for the first time. The next thing we ask people to do is to have a look at the web content syndication. Now, that's a really fancy way of saying it's a campaign landing page for Hitachi Vantara. And the idea behind that is all of our partners have their own websites. They're all running well, and they run them to do awareness campaigns and information sharing to their customers. What these web content syndication pages do is they act as campaign pages for joint Hitachi Vantara and new co-branded campaigns. And I'm going to give you a live example now. This is one of our partners called Vertex IT, based in the States. And we're on their website live now. We can see what services they offer as an organization. We can see who their partners are. But we can also see here they've got a Hitachi Vantara page. And this page here specifically contacts on cyber resilience. We've got all of our latest content and messaging in here. What that actually means for the partner is if they want to run an email campaign or a social media campaign such as LinkedIn, they can send campaign content to this page directly straight away. And it's a very simple and easy thing to execute. The pages have a mixture of content on there from the latest analyst reports. This one here, for example, Cyber Resilience for Dummies, we're really happy with, and we really want to make sure that all of our partners are aware of this and get to utilize this campaign content as well, through to customer case studies that really focus on the issue within that. And this example here, these are our cyber resilience case studies, right through to our latest webinars and our resources and insights. So there's a great amount of information for you there. Quite simply, this is a blank web page where they've taken some iframe code from the Partner Marketing Hub and it's built the page for them. The next thing we look at is social media and email marketing. Now, social media marketing is one of the key tools of most of the sales teams we work with. The ability to have a great presence on LinkedIn as the main platform. If I click on this option here, it takes me through to how we've set up a LinkedIn campaign. And I'm going to spend a bit more time in this call going through how you run a LinkedIn campaign, because I think this is, when I talk to all of our partners and the sales team within it, LinkedIn is the platform they utilize the most. And I think you get the most out of learning how to use this. So I'll run through that. And then we've got how to launch your first email campaign. So email campaigns can be run directly from this platform. And we have a wide range of partners around the world. Some of them run email campaigns directly from this platform. Some of them take the campaigns from the platform and run them from their own email automation platforms. Both are options for you and both work really well. The next thing I want to do is I want to go into the campaign we focused on today, which is cyber resilience. And the idea we do that is you could quite simply go down to marketing campaigns, click on cyber resilience, and then that would take you through to the latest cyber resilience campaign. The great thing about this campaign is we've got multiple tracks within it. Now, that's not to overcomplicate things, but that is to show you, as Chris and Terry have shown you, there are a lot of complex issues and challenges for our customers and your customers out there at the moment. So we want to give you the much armory as you can to give them relevant information and relevant content when you're running campaigns, which is why we set up 4 tracks. We've got our umbrella campaign on cyber resilience, which I'm going to go through today, show you how to activate this campaign, both through LinkedIn and email. We've also got our alliance plays as well, where it drills more into the solution and what the challenges we're trying to overcome, both with Commvault and Veeam. And then finally, because we are so strong in the financial services area and it's such a strong area for all of our partners, and the opportunities there and the challenges for financial services so unique, we wanted to build a campaign that specifically tackled cyber resilience within financial services. So all of those campaigns are there for you to use. To use any of these campaigns, you quite easily click on the link that you want, and it will take you through to the next page. This one here has taken me through to the cyber resilience campaign. And the great thing about this is you can see all the other campaigns here as well, but I can quite easily click on these previews here that gives me a bit of insight into what these campaigns look at. So I've got my emails here. If I click on the web content indication, it shows me what my landing page is going to look like. So it's a nice visual to show you what the campaign looks like. Now, you've got a couple of options now. You can either activate the campaign by clicking this red button here, or you can hit download. Now, the reason we've got two options there is, as I mentioned earlier, some of our partners run the campaigns from the Partner Marketing Hub themselves, email campaigns, social media campaigns. For those partners, just click activate and they can run the campaigns directly. Other partners already have pretty sophisticated email automation platforms in place, digital marketing platforms in place, CRM. In those examples, they're just looking for pre-built campaigns that they can import into their own existing platforms. That would be the download option that you click there, and that would allow them to export the campaigns. The emails are in HTML, easy to export into a simple email automation platform. But I'm going to hit activate. Then it gives me two options here. Do I want to activate a new campaign, or do I want to continue where I left off? I'm going to select I want to continue where I left off because I've already started promoting this campaign, because I use the Partner Marketing Hub in the same way that many of you would use the Partner Marketing Hub, in terms of running simple, easy to use campaigns. And it's a great way of me getting our cyber resiliency message out to our partners. So already I'm already utilizing this campaign. Now, if I scroll through, it's broken down into a couple of different sections. The top section is around emails, and I've got 6 emails here that I can use to promote. If I click on this preview button here, it gives me a really nice, simple preview of the email, what goes out, how it can be changed. Now, these emails are very simple to edit, to change to your own terminology. But the great thing about it, remember I said earlier about when we log on for the first time, we add our company details. You can see here that it automatically adds my company details, our LinkedIn, our Twitter, our Facebook, Instagram details. It co-brands the emails for you. And it's really simple to then go in there, edit the email. For example, in other countries, we've even got the ability now to auto-translate these any language you like. We've got so many partners around the world now that are running these campaigns in native language: Chinese, Spanish, French, Italian. All of the options are there to easily translate these emails into native language, save the emails, and run the campaign from there. I'm going to close that there now. I'll scroll through more. We've also got LinkedIn and Facebook availability there. And we've got our web content syndication. I mentioned this a bit earlier. This is for your marketing teams. This is for the teams that are looking to build a web and content page on their own website, on your partner website. And this is how they access it through there. Scroll down the bottom here, you've got all the resources that are in this campaign. Now, there's certain assets in here that are really going to be powerful for you. Things like the Dummies Guide and the MIT reports. The analyst reports are really good, strong content to get out to your customer audience, because it's independent information and it really validates the challenges the customers are going through and what they can need to do about it. So this is content that we would definitely recommend you promoting. And I'm going to show you in a few minutes how to promote that content. Scroll through here. All of this content, you can download the content again to use in your own platforms or run it through the campaigns. And we even have our sales enablement material down here as well. So for those sales teams that are looking for a bit more information on how to sell these products and services, what to say on those first calls, there's lots of information here for you on how to do that. The other great thing about this platform is everything I do from the platform is recorded. If I run an email campaign, a LinkedIn campaign, it stores and records all of the results from that. So if I keep on scrolling down here, I can see really easily that I've already been running this campaign. I can see here that I've run a social media campaign where I've done the campaign on the Dummies Guide, and it went out on the 22nd of October. So I know that campaign's gone live, and I can see down here, I've got more social posts coming out in the near future. So I set that up in one go, and now I've got a really active social media activity going on. So that leads me on to, well, how do you do social media? So I'm going to scroll up to our LinkedIn section again, and I want to send out a LinkedIn campaign. And what I'm going to do is, all of this is live. This is a live campaign I'm working on, and I'm going to click on continue to set up under LinkedIn. And that's going to take me through to my LinkedIn activity. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you that I've already sent some posts out, and I'm going to show you the posts that are soon to go out as well. So we've got this top schedule button here. We've got unscheduled posts, scheduled posts, and published posts. You can see here that LinkedIn is linked to my own personal LinkedIn account. Now that's a really important point, because the first time again that you log on to the Partner Marketing Hub and you try to activate a LinkedIn campaign, it will ask you for your LinkedIn username and password. By entering those details, it will then link the two accounts together. It will link your LinkedIn account to the Partner Marketing Hub, which means you can go on and activate any LinkedIn campaign that you want. In this example, it's cyber resiliency, and you can schedule the post to go when you want. What I'm going to do now is show you how to schedule the posts. So I've already showed you earlier that I've done 2 posts already. So this was the first one that went out. So we had our cyber resilience for dummies guide, and then I promoted the MIT report. The copy is pre-written for us, so you can send it as is. The only thing you would ask you not to change is this thing here. This is the URL. This is where the asset lives. So you can change any of the copy you want here, but please do leave this URL in here, because if they click on that, it takes you directly to that asset. And that's the kind of analytics that you're looking for. You're looking to send posts out, and you really want to track who's engaging with your content. I'm going to look at what I've got coming up next. So the next thing I've got coming out is I've got a webinar that's being promoted. And the way we build these social posts is we've found recently in LinkedIn that tiles work really well, document ads work really well, but video content really works well on LinkedIn. And what we've done is really brought short versions of all our video content to promote it on LinkedIn. This is a webinar, and you can see here it's only 38 seconds long. So what will happen is when you promote this video in your customers and prospects LinkedIn feed, they'll very simply see that shortened version of the video, and they can either click on it on the URL to watch the full video, or click on it to get more information. So there's great options available for you there. Now, if I want to edit this email before it goes, I can edit the date and time of when it goes, and I can edit the content. I'm going to click on edit content. Now we can see we've got all of my copy here, what's going to happen in this webinar, and this is access to the full webinar. If I think, do you know what, I really want to edit this, I want to change what's going here, you can go in here and you can delete copy, you can add copy, you can learn anything you want here. So I can change the copy, type whatever I want in here, hit update, and that will save it for me live on the system. Then I want to say, where do I want this post to go out? I'm going to change the date and time. I want this post to go out on Friday, the 7th of November. And you can change that to any day you want. Change it to November, whenever you're looking for. I'm going to change this now, go back into October, and I'm going to send it out tomorrow, 24th. Click update. And now that is scheduled to post on the 24th of October at 2 p.m. Now that's 2 p.m. my time. Again, the first time that you set yourself up on the Partner Marketing Hub, it asks you which time zone you're in. So when you're sending posts out, it's sending it right on your time zone. That's the great thing about this. And then if I scroll down here, these are other posts, and I can do this with all the other posts as I go. Really simple way to get LinkedIn campaigns ready, get them sent out scheduled, and get them promoted. So I'm going to click back now, where I'm going to go back to my campaigns. So now we've given you the idea there of how easy it is to do a LinkedIn post. The next thing I want to show you is on the email side of things. I'm going to click on continue setup for this email here. And what that's going to do is going to take me through to one of my email campaigns. And again, what I can do here within the email is I've got the content here. I've got my mailing list, tasks and schedules, and schedule of when I want it to go out. If I want to edit this email, I can quite simply click on edit email. It will then allow me to edit the email on the fly, change copy within the email, change the call to actions on the email, and give me a simple way of getting emails out to my customer base and prospect base. The other thing you'd need to look at here is who do you want to send it to. The platform can upload spreadsheets into it. It can upload data that allows you to send it out on bulk to multiple contacts. If I want to edit this email, I can quite simply click on anything within the email, delete, type away. A very simple platform to use. I'm going to hit save and exit, discard my changes because I'm not going to save those changes, and then got my email. So Chris and Terry, we've covered an awful lot today on the Partner Marketing webinar. I wanted to ask you before we finish, if you've got a final thought each on how to finish things. So Chris, can I pass to you first on your final thoughts?
Sure. I think one of the things that we've seen today here is that Hitachi is really trying to help you get this message across. What should that message look like? From my perspective, what we're trying to deliver here in this battle against cybercrime is a predictable outcome, a predictable way of what needs to be done, what actions need to be taken, and what the result will look like. So for me, focus on a predictable outcome. And with this predictability, you'll find that the Hitachi Vantara relationship and solutions that we can deliver together will be very predictable for your customers.
Well said, Chris. Well said. So, Bern, my final thoughts is for our partners is, guys, put us to the test. These are real solutions that do work. And we have seen the positive effects in customer environments where they've been deployed by some of our partners. So I would encourage you, come to and see our COE demos. You know how to request a demo. Our COE team is amazing. They've got all of these different solutions put together, showing end to end how a customer, when they detect from a detection point to the mitigation point to recovery point, they've got it all there. There's nothing like for a customer to see this in action, right? It's really a proof of value more than a proof of concept, that these are real solutions that a customer can put in place. And you, all partners, will be delivering it for them and being the advisor and making sure that this solution actually meets their goal. So come and see us at the COE, make this request, and the COE team will be happy to be your partner. Should I say partner in crime here, Chris? In solving our customers' problems here.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, Chris. So thank you very much, everyone, for joining today. We are so pleased to kind of promote this content to you. Again, the final call to action from me is please do get in contact. Get in contact with your partner account manager. Get in contact with me directly, because we're all looking to do is run these campaigns with you. So with that, I'll finish the webinar. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Terry. And we'll see you soon. Goodbye.